What's up, guys? Back with some more informal stuff, right? I just want to give y'all a story. The story on, what people don't really talk about, the expense of going to Jamaica to do all the, to purchase land, right? So first you have to talk about the plane fare. That is, if you gotta, that's the first expense. You have to book a flight, right? Whatever that might cost in the moment, at the time, right? So you must, you have to reserve your flight, right, from ahead of time. After you do that, you have to reserve a car because you must move around, right? But not before reserving somewhere to stay, and that's another expense. So you have flight, we have room and board, and we have transportation. Those are the three expenses before anything else, right? Not to mention, any property you buying, it's your duty to go and look at it, make sure everything is what it's supposed to be, and if you have any discrepancies, then you bring it up to your attorneys, or you bring it up before contract is signed or whatever. Right? Or it's gives you, it's important as well because it could give you the ability to negotiate. So you really want to go down there and see what you're buying, right? Because you might see something online and it looks nice, and think about how the agents get paid, right? They're gonna be like, yeah, it's a nice property. They're gonna want to sell it to you because they got bills to pay, right? Not saying that they're doing nothing unethical, but the fact of the matter is that, what's good for the goose might not be good for the gander. It might be good for them, but you have to really go see if it's good for you and make sure it's useful, right? Because you might see something online and you have no idea. It looks nice, but when you go there, you like, the cost to build on it, it's not even worth it, right? Like, because you have to go through the right channels, structural engineer, make sure the land is built. It's not, so you don't want to go buy a piece of land that it might just be a hillside where you got to do a bunch of stuff. You got to build retaining walls and all these things before you can build. You got to go and see if it's buildable space, flat land, whatever it is. You got to go see the topography. That's what it's called, right? Go see the topography of the land, and once you go there and see that, then you can determine whether it's something that you can do, right? Because the very first property I went to look at, I thought it was great, right? I made a video of it. This property was in a place called Aracabessa, where the rocks is coral rocks, right? So I'm not really sure how good that's that is to build on, but the land is flat, so I'm sure it shouldn't be really that difficult to put a foundation in there, but I'm sure you have to get heavy equipment to do so. So that's a cost you gotta also consider, right? So back to what I was saying, right? You must visit the property. That's your due diligence, and after you do that, so like what I did was, when I went down there to visit, right, I also, because I was interested, what I did was I reached out to a surveyor, right? So we would meet up So now we talking about expenses here, right? So we back to the expense now. We got the hotel, we got the flight, we got the hotel, we got the car, right? Roughly that's about what that's about it's about 5,000 in. Let's say easy. That's 5,000 in easy because the flight is probably about 1,000. It's me and my wife, right? Maybe more. Maybe no. Matter of fact, the flight is about like 1,600, right? Let's say it's that, and right, or maybe 1,200, whatever it is, right? It's about 1,000, right? And then the car, is about another 1,000. I think that'd be like 2,000. I'm just giving y'all a low ball estimate, right? It could, I think it comes up. You ask my wife, it probably come up to way more than that, right? But I don't really remember the number, so I'm just giving you like a rough estimate of what I know for sure. It is, right? So the flight about a stack, the car about a stack, the stay, right? That could be about 2 stacks, or let's say a stack. Let's say depending on where you stay, right? Let's say a stack, and then eat. You gotta eat, right? So that's another stack. That's 5 stacks, right? Easy, right? So we know it's coming up to more than that, right? So we didn't. We back to the land now. So now we trying to schedule. We scheduled a surveyor to meet us at a specific time. So now we got to schedule that time, arrange it before we even book our flight. So when we book our flight, we booking it to have that appointment. You know what I'm saying, with the surveyor to meet us at the property. So we killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? So now when we get there, we have this we have a professional actually looking at the property, right? We're not just observing it on our own. The surveyor is telling us, all right, okay, well, all the boundaries is correct, and we can pay him further to tell you if the land is buildable, if you can build on the land, right? So I mean, what you're gonna encounter when you get down there is I peep the game with the whole surveying thing, because it's like normally in the area that you're going in, whatever area you're going in, it's 1 or 2 guys that run that area, so they know all the land there. They know everything that's there. They're doing most of the work there, but they're gonna, I guess it's confidentiality that we're, they I guess they gotta act like they don't know the property, and they're gonna charge you for it. So you just gotta charge that to the game, right? They're gonna tell you if it's correct, what you gotta correct, and if you feel like like it's a lot too much to correct, or it could just be something you can negotiate and then you can fix it, then you can go about bringing that up to your attorney or whatever the case might be, and making that happen, as a negotiable instrument. And I'm saying like instrument, to get the deal done. But so you still got to pay the surveyor for that. That's gonna run you, I can't really remember how much that's gonna run you. It depends on the size of the property, right? So it all depends. That's a different topic. But yeah, these are the things that you're gonna encounter if you're looking into purchasing land down there. The next thing was getting the land cleared or whatever the case might be, but that's a different subject. So I mean, if you learn something from this, man, give me a subscribe, a like, a share, and stay tuned. I'll give you more updates on my life lessons. Because I'm still learning. It's a journey. So, stay tuned, man. Peace and love, man. Come on, man.